Good morning and welcome to another Fun Fold Friday. Today's card is kind of interesting. It stands up, first of all. That's what I want to point out. It's what I would consider a three-dimensional card because of the fact that it's got this, this square section here and another square section here. And it's kind of a different card base. So if you wanted to put your personal greeting on, you could put a piece of basic white on the back to write your greeting. It does fold flat for an A2 sized envelope. So that's a good thing to note. And it's kind of an interesting card to make. So let me show you how we're going to make it. Now I'm changing up the colors, of course, like I always like to do. And so let's get started. So here are my materials. Now, as always, down below the video in the description, there will be a link to the blog post. So it'll give you all of the cardstock scoring and cutting measurements. And so you can go over to the blog post, get all your materials ready, and then you could follow along in the tutorial. Or you can just simply watch the tutorial to see how it comes together and then make the card and rewatch the video if you need to. Okay, so the paper I'm using for this is the same from the first card. It's called Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. I'm doing a Night of Navy card base, and I'm doing this, so basically you have two navy blue bits or two card bases that you're going to cut. This is for the main part of the card, and this is for the little box on the top. We're going to do some scoring for this. And then, of course, you have some layering pieces. You don't have to put all of the layering on the card if you don't want to. I'll give you suggestions as we go along of other things that you might want to do. And then I've got another piece of basic white that I have actually embossed. So you could do some embossing, or this could be designer series paper instead. And these pieces on the top of the box could be embossed. So lots of variety, lots of different things that you can do. I guarantee you'll never get bored making this card because there's so many different alternates that you can do. All right, so I'm going to pull in my trimmer and we'll do our scoring on here. Let's pull in our trimmer here. And let's get started. So the bottom of your box here, this is what it's referred to as a bottom box and a top box in my instructions. This being the bottom box and this being the top box, just so you know which is which. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to score this at 3/8 of an inch to start with. Now, because 3/8 is like way over here, I usually do the 3/8 on this side. So we've got 1, 2, 3/8. That's just shy of a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to score this at 3/8. Then I'm just going to rotate the card to pretend that I did my 3/8 on this side, and then we're going to continue our scoring. So the next one is 1 3/8. So 1, 1, 2, 3/8. Okay, 1 3/8. So let's give that a score. Next one is at 2 7/8. So 2 7/8 is almost at 3 inches. And the last one is at 3 7/8, so almost at 4 inches. Okay, so that's the scoring for the bottom of the box, bottom of the card, I should say. And then this one, we're going to score this one again at 3/8, so 1 3/8. And then I'm just going to rotate that around, and then I'm going to score this at 1 3/8. So 1 and 1, 2, 3/8. Okay. So that's our scoring done. All right. So we'll work on the bottom first, and you are going to, so this is going to be, here, I'll bring this back in. This piece is this part of the card here, from here to here. Then we're going to create this box. Okay, so I'm going to fold over my cardstock and fold over my cardstock again. and fold over my cardstock again and fold over one more time. Okay, so you're basically now, you have this box, you see? So the very narrow 3/8 piece is your glue tab that you're going to glue this down on. Okay? So I'm just going to reinforce all of my score lines here with my bone folder. Okay, so that becomes the box there. Okay, and the next thing we want to do is let's see, we're going to do our DSP on this part. So instead of doing designer series paper, I chose to emboss a piece with the bark embossing folder. That's one of our new embossing folders in our mini catalog. This is a fantastic folder. Okay, so this is actually going to come over on top of that, like that. Okay, so we can stick that down. So I'm going to use Tombow glue for this just because it is embossed and it's got all of these bumps everywhere. So it's just easier to use your Tombow glue rather than try and glide smoothly over with your tape runner. So let's just put some Tombow glue on there. And let's glue this down. Okay, and then I'm doing the same piece on this top layer to give it some continuity across the card. So we will glue this onto that. So like I said, you could do any variety of things. This could be designer series paper. You could layer it with a piece of cardstock first and then a piece of designer series paper on the top. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so now we can move on to the other part of the card, which is this piece here. So again, I'm going to fold over and burnish those score lines. Okay, and so this is going to go on top of this like this. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we're going to glue this piece down. So basically, if you flatten this, fold over this 3/8 inch tab and flatten the card completely down, this is where you're going to be gluing it flat. And then once it's glued down, let me stick my finger in here. Once it's glued down, then you'll just lift it up to create the box. Okay. Now my suggestion is that you use tear and tape on here because that's a nice strong adhesive. So that's what I'm going to use. Give that a good burnish, and then you're going to pull this off with my take your pick tool, the pointy end. Okay, so remember what I said, you're going to fold this over like that and flatten this. Or is it flattened like this? I can't remember now. Yes, it's like this. Okay, you don't flatten the whole thing, but you flatten where this panel is here. And you're going to stick that down like that and give it a really good rub. Okay, and then that lifts up. Okay. So make sure you work out the mechanics before you commit. First one I made a mistake, and so then I didn't glue it in the right spot, and so it didn't, it didn't create this little tube here. Okay, so that is the base, and now we're going to work with this one. So on this one, on this card, I've done the front, and then I did a panel here on the side. You don't have to decorate the panel here because, this one isn't decorated, but you can decorate all of the panels on the front of the card if you want to. All right, now I did decide to decorate the one half of this piece here, and I'm doing some layering on here. So I've got this set of trees to go across. So let's glue this onto this white strip. Okay, and then this is going to fit on top of here. Okay, so then the side of your panel is decorated, and then for the top, I'm going to glue this piece onto the basic white layer. Let's just get some stuff out of my way here. And I want my trees oriented the right way. So let's just put this on here like that. There we go. And so this is going to be glued on the top of this piece now. So my next step is to decorate the front of my card and perhaps add a greeting on here. So because of this lovely kind of faded blue forest scene with some obvious snowflakes coming down, I decided to pull out the stamp set called Snowflake Wishes. This, I believe, came out last year in our mini catalog, and they carried it forward because everybody loved it so much. It's just perfect for Christmas, and I love the greetings in here. Thank you so much. May your season sparkle. Snowflake wishes for a Merry Christmas. Our friendship is one of a kind. And in the coldest moments of the year, my heart is warm because you're near. That's a very sweet greeting. Okay, especially since many of us haven't seen family for quite a while. It's nice to send warm hugs and warm greetings via all the cards that you make. Okay, so this set is quite fascinating because there are a lot of snowflakes to choose from. There are two sets of, let me just create a white background here for you. There are two plastic sheets of different snowflakes. I'm going to be using this flourish for the back of the card and this cute little snowflake. And I already stamped some snowflakes to put on the top just to save some time. So I stamped this one in Night of Navy, and then I stamped some of these little tiny snowflakes in Merry Merlot. And for the lighter color here, I simply stamped or inked up my stamp and stamped it off to create a little bit of a lighter snowflake here. And so I've got a few of these to use, and then there are some snowflakes that you can cut out and just create these beautiful snowflakes without any stamping. So I cut a couple of these out as well. So there's lots to choose from in this set. And then the greeting I'm going to use probably is the Snowflake Wishes for a Merry Christmas. I love that. So perhaps we'll create a greeting as well. So I'm just going to show you the dies. They're just amazing dies. So you've got, look at this intricate die, huge one, and then this one. These two will cut out any of the stamped images. So there's 2 stamps in the set that you can both cut out. These are just meant to cut out. You could use vellum, you could use what's it called? Oh, for heaven's sakes, I've just suddenly forgotten the name of it. It's a white cardstock with some sparkle in it. Can't remember the name of it, but you could also cut these out of glimmer paper. And then look at this fabulous one. This is an actual label die, but it's got some snowflake elements around it. Really, really pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, so those are your dies. All right, so let's put this together. I think I might want to put the card together first. So you kind of position this on here like that. And I need to remember how I glued it on. Yes, I think I flattened it. If I remember correctly, you flatten the card like this. And then you flatten this card. Okay, you flatten both of these. So you're basically centering it on this embossed piece here. So you're going to put some tear and tape on the very edge of this piece. And you are going to, I'm just going to test it. Yes, perfect. So tear and tape on the edge of this piece and tear and tape on this little 3/8 of an inch piece here. All right, so let's do that. So I need to find my tear and tape. Here it is. Right in front of me, of course, always. So we're going to put a little bit of tear and tape on the back of this. Like so. And then we're going to put tear and tape on this 3/8 inch strip here. Always give your tear and tape a bit of a burnish to make sure that the glue sticks to the cardstock, because sometimes when you try to get this paper off, it picks up the glue as well. And I just drag my pointer underneath like that and then pull the tab off. And I'm going to pull in my silicone sheet because then it won't stick to my grid sheet. Let's pull that one off. Okay, so we have this. So we're going to lie this flat like this. You're going to flip it over. You're going to lie your card flap down, and you're going to center this on here where the white is. Okay, and then you're going to stick that down and give it a good burnish. And there's your card. Look how easy that was. Like I said, once you know the mechanics of it, it's very easy to put together. I just love that card. I love it. Okay, so let's do some decorating now with our snowflakes. So I could put one like that. And the nice thing about this is that you can overlap this, you see, as long as you don't go past the edges of your card, but you could overlap that a little bit on the top, give it some dimension. And then I could do this one sort of here. And then I have this third one. You could even, oh, I like that. You could even overlap your snowflakes. So maybe I'll overlap that one. And then I can scatter a bunch of these on here. Let's see how this looks. Now, I've told you this trick before, is once you have your design down, and of course then you're going to have to take everything off to glue it, you take a photo with your camera, and And then you'll know how to put it together again. Look how pretty that is. I almost don't want to put a greeting on there now. Let's do the greeting and see if we're going to do a greeting or not. So I have a small piece of basic white here, and I thought I would do Night of Navy. It'd be really, really pretty to do this in silver embossing powder. Okay. Oh, I love that. Look at that font. Isn't that a great font? Okay, so what I'll do is I've got my little mini cutter here. I'm going to wait for that to dry a little bit here before I cut it. So while I wait for that to dry, I cut a piece of basic white 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to put this on the back of this card, and then I could always do the greeting on the back, couldn't I? Yes, and then I thought I would do some snowflakes. I think I'll do some in Merry Merlot, not Merry Merlot, so Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to ink this up, and then I'm going to stamp it off, and then stamp it so it makes a lighter color. Isn't that pretty? And then maybe we'll do this one in Night of Navy. I think I'll stamp this off as well. Do one down here. Okay, so yeah, I think maybe, I'm not sure yet. So let's just set these ink pads aside for a second. Let's decide what we're going to do here. So let's pull this back, and I'm going to trim this. Now, I like to put a Post-it note down here to hold this in place. There we go. There's our greeting. So if we were to put this on the top, what would this look like? We could do it on the front. Now I wish I was doing a Facebook Live and I could get your opinion. But we could do this on the front. We could pop this up. So let's put some dimensionals on here. Grab my scissors. And we will cut this down. Be sure to use all of the edges. Once your dimensionals are finished, you can use the edges. Okay, so we have that ready. Now let's put our snowflakes on. So I think I will glue this one. With a bit of Tombow glue. Let's get it started. There it goes. Okay, a little dab will do ya. And let's put this on top. Actually, this fits almost perfect. There we go, perfectly. I'm lining up these little tiny bits. There we go. And then let's, oh, didn't stick. To hold it down a bit longer. Okay, let's put some glue on here. So I think I will overlap this a little. I think it's pretty overlapped. Okay, and then let's put some glue on the back of this. I'm going to pull out my tweezers. And let's put this down here, like so. Okay. Oh my gosh, these snowflakes are just so pretty. And then I will put a dab of glue on each of these snowflakes. And we'll stick those on there. And I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella pen and put some Wink of Stella on here. I think that would be really pretty. Now, I just used up the last of my Wink of Stella in my last tube. I'm hoping I can grab my second tube. And of course, this card screams either Wink of Stella, or maybe I'll just put some rhinestones on here. Now, here's our greeting. So we could put this right like that, right kind of between these two snowflakes here. Oh my gosh, isn't that pretty? Okay, let's grab some rhinestones. And I'm going to grab my putty end of my Take Your Pick tool. Now let's see, let's do one of these larger ones right smack in the center of this big snowflake right here. My gosh, that's so pretty. Okay, and let's grab these smaller ones here and here and here. Oh, so pretty. So, and I think I'm going to do one more on the wishes. Dot the I with the rhinestone. Oh my gosh, look how pretty that is. All right. And the last thing we want to do now is to put on our backing. Now we could put another greeting on the inside. Let's see, what have we got for greetings? We've got, so I've got Snowflake Wishes for a Merry Christmas. Excuse me. May your season sparkle. Since I've got all of these, rhinestones on here. Here it is, May your season sparkle. Let's do this one. This will be really cute. And we'll do this in Night of Navy as well. This card would be so pretty with snowflakes of different colors, I think. So let's just line this up with my grid sheet, and then we will put this right there. Okay, so I'll close up my ink pads to let that ink dry a little bit. And then we will put this on the back, and then that will be our project for today. I've got this extra little snowflake sitting here. Okay, so let's turn this over and let's put some tape runner on here. Make sure you have your card the right side up. And then you're just going to put this on here like that. Oh, I hope you like this project as much as I do. I would love to see what you create. You can always post your photos over on my Facebook page, From Me to You Paper Crafts. I'd love to see what you create with this fun fold. It's a good one. So here's the first one. This was my prototype. And this is the one I created today. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Remember, you can go to my blog, which is ericaedney.com. And below this video, there will be the links. And also links to the supplies that I used in the blog post as well, if you wish to purchase anything from me. Thank you so much for watching. And until next week, see you then. Bye for now.